Hey everybody, Red X Rain here. Welcome back to Let's Play Space Station Silicon Valley for the N64. So last time I finished up the temperate or European zone, so we're ready to move on to the, I guess, Arctic zone. So here we go. So you made it to the cooler. Something's missing. Oh yeah, snow! Alright, so we gotta switch on a snowblower, switch on the big computer thing, and get a husky. Alright, so, I had kind of obliquely mentioned this before, but there was no point in me, like, really getting too in-depth because you kind of have to see it to, I guess, know what I'm talking about. But, oh, that's right. Every animal here is going to be a new animal. So, okay, let's start with this. So, kind of like the basic animal of this Arctic zone tends to be the penguin. Basically, they can jump, and they have this little cute, like, projectile snowball attack with beams, so we'll see that. It looks cute, not very effective damage-wise, but it's what we got, so we'll work with it. I always forget exactly what it is, but all the zones work this way, where, you know, the temperate European zone, oh, by the way, there's the husky, and if we just stand right here, he can't really climb this slope, so I'm just trying to get the camera angle just right, and we just keep throwing snowballs at him. Really, it's just a game of endurance here, because like I said, the snowball attack does not do much damage. Also, the camera's not great here, and it's kind of luck-based, but, you know. But anyway, so, yeah, so like with that first European zone, I think it's like you have to beat the first 4 levels, maybe 5, and in the snow world, this Arctic area opens up, and then same thing will happen a little bit later. Let's check out the husky really quick. He can also jump, and he has this husky frenzy kind of bite attack, which is pretty good. But yeah, so basically, then once we beat like the first 3 or 4 levels of the Arctic zone, the jungle zone will open. Same thing, jungle zone into what will be the, like, desert zone later on. Now, from, I guess, kind of like a development standpoint, I could kind of see where they were at, because let's say you're not a weirdo like me who has, like, obsessive-compulsive completionist attitude, right? And, you know, you do the first 4 levels or whatever of the European zone, and then you're like, ooh, a new zone opened up. Oh, I want to go check out the ice worlds, right? I don't like to do that. I like to get everything done and then move on to something new. But if you do that, you know, you have to think about, or the developers, I guess, kind of had to think about what's the learning curve here, right? Because, like, the last levels of the European zone are by no means impossible, but they become more difficult as you go on. So I guess they couldn't assume that people would play it like I do and, you know, go with the learning curve of, oh, okay, this Arctic zone opened up. I'm going to come back to that later. Let me, you know, follow the learning curve of this, like, European zone, right? So it's weird that even though now I've done some pretty difficult levels in the European zone, now this first Arctic level is really simple. It's big, but there's really not, like, a lot that can kill you. As you can see here, the penguins are no match for the husky. So it's kind of like the learning curve takes that step back, depending on how you play it. And we'll kind of see that with other ones, too. Although I think by the time you're done with the Arctic zone, the 3rd or 4th level is already pretty difficult anyway, and you're ready to jump into the jungle zone if you wanted to. I don't. I'll do, you know, all the zones as they, or I'll finish them before moving on to a different one. But I think it's just an interesting kind of, not a mechanic, but I guess it's really more of, it's not really story development either. It's just kind of a structural thing that I think generally they handled okay. Here we have the rabbit. Pretty easy stuff. It's kind of got like a thumper attack. It's really easy, just jump in the air. You may have seen it, sort of send shockwaves through the ground. It's not that damaging. Again, it's really hard to die in this first Arctic zone level here. The rabbit kind of works like, I mean, it makes sense. it works like the spring ram or the spring sheep, where you can't just push forward on the analog stick or the control stick and move. You have to press A to jump and then control your movement that way. So it's a little sloppy. Just takes time to get used to. I don't remember exactly what that camera shows, but I don't think I need it. Just getting power cells here. Alright, what haven't I done? So I got the Husky, turned on the big machine thing. We gotta get the snow going, and then I think that'll be... Oh, and I gotta get the souvenir, which is not too difficult. Oops, let's give this place a little bit of atmosphere. That was totally not sexy R&B. I never said I was a good beatboxer, by any means. But now I've proven that I'm not good at it. So as weird as it sounds, that's how you get the souvenir here. You can see it illuminates this platform. You can only see at night. And you can maybe kind of see it glistening there in the distance. Rabbit has pretty good traction. Not too bad. So, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right. I think I can just hop on off of here, or slide, or whatever. I guess this level's a little bit confusing because there's so many like levers and stuff that you can pull, but again, it's not like there's really any, oops. It's not like there's really any, punishment for doing them wrong, or there's really no doing them wrong. Can I get up there with the rabbit? Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, there's a Husky there. Get away from him. Alright. Speaking of lovers, there's our last one. The Husky joined me, apparently. It's kind of funny. Seeing a floating Husky. Alright, we just gotta... I thought I could do it from the middle, but apparently you can't. But just some pretty simple platforming. You could do this with any of them. The Penguin would have been fine, the Husky would have been fine, but I'm just gonna stick with the rabbit. Because I'm pretty confident in timing this. I say as I almost miss, but hey, there we go. Not bad. You know, 8-minute level. Haven't had one of those, or probably even less than that, because I did my introduction. What, 7-minute, 7.5-minute level? Haven't had any of those in a while. Oh man, here's... Boy, that little thumbnail says it all, kind of. More of that really weird dark humor that I totally didn't... It went over my head, so to speak. It's coming from the preserved heads of the professors laying around. Go get them. That's what we have to do, is collect decapitated, probably frostbitten human heads. That's the kind of game that this is. Super weird. I really didn't give it much thought when I was a kid playing this. There's one of them, but we can't get to it yet. Gosh, what was I? Maybe, I don't know, somewhere between the ages of like 10 and 12, maybe? I don't know what I don't remember exactly what I thought, but I kind of remember just thinking like, oh, it's like, they're like totem pole heads. They're not human heads. I gave it zero thought. So I switched to the rabbit here just because then we're less likely to get damaged by the other rabbits. No big surprises there. We will come back for that. There's another one of the heads. You can see it over there in the distance. We'll get that eventually. This is a really weird level. It looks really... I guess it looks kind of hard from the start because you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get over there? It looks like a lot of really elaborate platforming. Whoops. Speaking of platforming. Oh, come on. I think you can get there that way. Just kind of gotta... There we go, finagle it. It's my old man word of the day, finagle. Come on. There we go. But in just a minute here, we're going to get a new kind of animal that totally... I mean, it doesn't break the level, but it makes all the kind of platforming potentially unnecessary, I guess. Actually, I think I'm gonna, just because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna leave those heads where they are. Oh boy, there we have these guys. Their design is pretty interesting. These jet ski, or not jet ski, but skiing missile shooting walruses, which are pretty crazy. So over here, so this may kind of look like just another rabbit, but it's not. There we go, use our thump attack. Really, the thump attack is not a great attack, but there you go, gotta use it to solve that sort of puzzle here. So this is the Healy rabbit, or Heli rabbit. Heli doesn't sound right, Healy rabbit. A much more fun version of the rabbit, as you can see. This is our first... Is this our first flying... I think so, this is the first flying animal. There are a couple. And basically the way that this one controls, others control very similarly too, is that we really just need to hold the A button down, and then when we let go of the A button, that's how you descend. There we go. And of course the analog stick moves around. So this is what I was saying before, you know, the very unsettling frozen decapitated heads. It's not really much of a puzzle-solving aspect, or even a platforming challenge when you have the Healy rabbit, because you just fly around the stage and pick them up. Now, the one weird thing about the Healy rabbit, and I think this is also true for other flying animals, I don't quite remember, to be quite honest, I haven't played that far ahead just yet, is that they can only get as high, really. Oh, by the way, this is his, this animal's attack. So basically just drops bombs from above by pressing B. It's pretty good. But the weird thing about flying in this game with flying animals is that how high you can get the elevation is dependent on the ground beneath you. So, I mean, there's no, like height meter. I can't say, like, oh, you know, you fly 20 feet above. But let's just sort of say it's, you know, 20 feet is kind of like the maximum here. Well, that's, again, it's all relative to the ground that's beneath you, right? So, if you're over, for example, a little bit earlier when I was going for one of those heads, there was, like, a big black pit. If you just stayed and hovered over there, you would just sink into the pit. You need to have ground beneath you. So that's really how the game keeps it from, you know, I guess the flying animals being sort of overpowered to the point where, oh, they can just go anywhere. Well, they kind of can go anywhere. I'm not surprised that hit me. Yeah, you can kind of go anywhere, but you have to kind of think out your route. Wow, I can't believe I'm getting hit this much. You really have to think out your route because, like I said, you need to make sure that you always have stable ground beneath you, and if you want to, you know, kind of climb any higher, you need to find higher ground with each sort of successive step. Hope that made sense. I'm actually getting kind of pummeled by these walruses, which is kind of unusual, so let's pick up some health before I regret it. This usually doesn't take all that long. I'm just... Oh, this one's almost dead. Did I get him? Oh, I think... Oh, yeah, he's done. Alright. Then there should just be one more. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not just taking over one of the walruses, because, oh, they got those huge missiles. Why don't I just use the giant missiles that they have? Well, the walruses may look kind of cool. By the way, the reason I was trying to do that anyway is that's how you get the souvenir. You have to kill all the walruses in the level. I think it's just 3 of them. But actually, let's hop into them so you could kind of get a secondhand experience of what these walruses are like with their cool 90s shades here. So yeah, they have these homing missiles. That's used very liberally, I think, that phrase. Their handling is really bad. I mean, to be fair, this is, you know, on ice and so on, sliding a lot, but really they handle terribly. Imagine, like, you know, trying to control like the loosest, crappiest go-kart that you've ever you know ridden at like a fair or a carnival or anything like that. Multiply that by 10, and then you have a pretty good representation of what it's like to control these walruses. But this is a good example right there where you know, you would think like, oh, well, the Healy Rabbit could just fly over there. Actually, no, because you have to use that ramp instead of jump because there's no stable ground beneath. The Healy Rabbit couldn't get that high. So we do have to control the walruses for a little bit. And we'll see more of them later, kind of unfortunately. But yes, the homing missiles are... They do damage when they land, but it's actually, for being homing missiles, they are surprisingly inaccurate, I guess. And it takes forever for a new shot to sort of refill. I like doing that. I like sending them just across the ice there. I'm trying to think where those other 2 power cells are. That's really the only thing we have to do, because the exit is open. I'm trying to think where else could they even be? Might have missed something over here. Let's see. No. I haven't blown up a speaker in a while. I figured it was about time. I mean, it's actually a very self-contained small level. Kill these bunnies if I wanted to. Where could they be? Up here. I don't think I missed any by that final head by the ramp that I was talking about, but maybe I did. Because they're definitely not in that area. I feel like I've looked through all of these corners, because there are a lot in these corners. That's the perimeter of that. It's gotta be over here somewhere. Oh, yep, there they are. Okay. See, they try to trick you because you don't need the Healy Rabbit to get, well, you can't use the Healy Rabbit to get over that ramp there to get the head, but you do need to bring them over there to find the power cells. Tricky move. Well played. All right. So I think that's about it. Can we land this nicely? Yeah, there we go. Great. Okay, well, that seems like a good place to take a break for now. How many did we complete? 2? Back on track with 2? Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. All right, so as always, thanks for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I do always appreciate it. And when we come back next time, we'll just continue on here in this Arctic zone with, what's it called? Penguin Playpen. Even though that's not a picture of a penguin, is it? We'll see what that's about. All right, so yeah, until next time, guys. Bye.